What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video, we're going to be checking out some awesome battles submitted to the channel by a member of the community, Urker. So shout out to this battler, Dragonair, Brionne, and Dusclops. Now, the meta has gotten very stale. The first couple days, it was spicy, people were trying stuff out, but the meta has pretty much settled, and you guys are feeling exactly that. Granted, it is a unique cup that we've never been able to play before, so trying it out for a week isn't too bad. But we're going to see what Brionne can do today, having Charm, Aqua Jet, and Disarming Voice. Charge moves are pretty terrible, but it's Charm. Let's see what it can do. Alright, getting into the first battle here, we have Dragonair on the lead versus Dusclops. Dusclops, I love it. It is so strong in these limited cup metas when it can shine, because in Open Great League it's not the best, but having a great strong moveset, the ability to have return, and we do see a shield right there on the first Aqua Tail, which is actually pretty big. This means they can go ahead and let this go through. It is just a Shadow Punch as well, so maybe they don't have Ice Punch, but they're going to go ahead and probably look to try to catch the charge move here on Brionne. Let's see if it's going to be the Ice Punch. It is. Why? I don't understand. Okay. Very interesting. They kind of lull him to sleep, but we will see a full charm down right here. Shadow Punch is not going to be enough to take it out. And then let's see what decides to come in now. At 50% HP, we will see it. God. A shiny Chansey coming in. Alright, well, this is going to be a 2-minute fight alone right here, but thankfully we do have Charm on this side of the battlefield, so it's going to chunk, you know, 100th, 1 HP per hit. My gosh, who else is using Chansey? If you're using Chansey in this cup right now, let me know down in the comments so people can heckle you. But we will see a swap out back into Dragonair, saving Brionne, and you got a shield. I mean, it's a Chansey. It only hits one charge move in its life, so they're gonna go ahead and just load up on energy, and they will have plenty of energy on the back end of this fight. Dusclops is out of energy as well, so we'll have to see what that third Pokemon is going to be, and it is going to be a Vigoroth that is coming in. So a Dusclops, a Chansey, and a Vigoroth. Wow, okay. So we're going to see a Body Slam come through now. Forces the final shield of this game, and they do get to a second one in time. This is beautiful right here. Going to get that nice chip damage that is desperately going to be needed. Switch Clock is not back up, but they do have Dusclops with a 1-0 shield advantage, and as we can see over there, they do have Ice Punch. Spoiler alert, that is what I wish my Dusclops would have. If you guys haven't seen the video of me using Dusclops for the first time in this meta, it is on the channel, but I ran out of charge TMs. I literally burned them trying to get the movesets that I wanted, and I ended up with Fire Punch instead of Ice Punch. But if I had to choose one punch, it would be Ice Punch, as it does do nice, super effective damage against the dragon. So we will see Chansey come back in right here. Will they give up the final shield to the Chansey? No, they're going to go ahead and let it go through. That Psychic actually did a decent amount of damage, but they're going to go ahead and go for the return, which I think Chansey might be able to survive. I have no clue, but I'm going to guess it survives. Yeah, it does survive. Can they farm down with Hex, though? This is a ridiculous farm down if they do. Well over 100 energy. Chansey, can you please go down? My gosh! How much? Jeez. I think it's doing half damage. No, every fast move does 1 damage at minimum. But let's see what decides to come in. It is going to be the Vigoroth right here, so they do have an Ice Punch ready to go. Remember, there's still that Dusclops lurking in the back, so Ice Punch, not enough to take it out. They're going to swap out to Brionne and Charm down, and the Dusclops is going to come back in, so Charm should be able to take it right there. Good battle. Man, that was a lot longer of a first battle. Hopefully we don't see any more Chanseys than I thought. If you guys have faced off against Chanseys, let me know as well. Alright, we got Shiny Sealeo on the lead, bad lead, so we will see the Dusclops safe swap in, and we do see Vigoroth come into this matchup. This is a very interesting swapping, because Dusclops can take this if it can land a return here against Vigoroth, because then the Ice Punch spam is incredibly strong, and no, it gets shielded right there, which is kind of tough. Vigoroth as well has to be landing Bulldozes, 2 Bulldozes in fact, to even get close to taking out the Dusclops, and they're going to go ahead and shield, and it was the Bulldoze. Okay, so a Bulldoze and a return shielded right here. Let's see if they can land another one, and then once they land this return, they can go for Ice Punches and look to try to flip this mid-game. So the return does land, that is beautiful, but will they try to shield this next Bulldoze, or are they going to let it go through? Let's find out. It is going to be the Bulldoze. They let it go through, so Dusclops hangs on, and now they can go for Ice Punches right here to try to threaten the final shield now from Vigoroth. But will they give up 2 shields to take switch advantage? Nope, they decide to let it go through, so they should be able to farm down. Here comes the charge move. I think it's just going to be Body Slam, which they should be able to survive. No, it was another Bulldoze completely off right there on my energy counting. But in my defense, these battles are sped up. And shoutcasting over them, I'm not actually officially counting, but that's okay. We see the Haunter now come in, but this is going to be pretty tough. They do catch the charge move, though, on Dragonair, but they did take a lot of damage right there on the Brionne with the Shadow Claw, so that is very unfortunate because Sealeo now can come in and fully farm down and just have a ton of Body Slams ready to go. But instead of farming down, they decided to throw energy to get the Dragonair out of there. To be fair, I think it's a good game from this point. Had they been able to get the switch, it would have been an incredibly different game because of the resistance to Powder Snow on Brionne with the charm damage, and then the Dragonair versus the Haunter there. And we also didn't see an Ice Punch as well, so it definitely would have been a different game. But they should be going down right here. They're going to try their best to fully charm down, which, yeah, they could have if this was a full health fight in the mid-game, having flipped it with Dusclops. But they're going to go ahead and shield, try their best to farm down, but Shadow Claw is going to be taking them out, and that is going to be a good battle, very well played. Tough one right there. All right, moving into the next one, we have Dragonair on the lead versus Vigor. I mean, to be fair, like I said at the beginning of this video, the meta is getting very, very, very stale. We see a Hakomo come in. They're going to go ahead and come in with the Brionne. That charm is just shredding right now. Now, what is going on with the phone? What the heck? Oh, okay. They put over a blocker to stop a message coming through. That's a good call. Thank you for doing that, because messages usually get read out loud if you leave alerts here on these videos, shoutcasts. So the Vigoroth's going to go ahead and come back in. They did take out the mid-game right there, and they're going to go ahead and go for the Disarming Voice now, just to do as much neutral damage as possible. But what I'm seeing now from Brionne in these games is just chunking health. Just that's what it does. It does charm to chunk health, and you pair it with something strong like a Dusclops with bulk, Dragonair with good spammy, hard-hitting neutral damage across most of the meta, you're going to be looking pretty good. So they're going to go ahead and shield the Bulldoze right here, and then probably look to go for a turn as they are in a 1-to-1 shield situation. Return, no, they decided to go for Ice Punch right here. Interesting. Let's see if the Vigoroth will give up a shield. I don't think it will. Okay, I'm completely wrong today. That is fine. They're going to go ahead and try to throw another Bulldoze. Dusclops can tank this relatively easily, and also overload on energy, because the return from this point, okay, they decided to surrender. All right, GG. Moving into the next one. We have Dragonair on the lead versus Shadow Piloswine. Okay, they gotta watch. Actually, I mean, to be fair, Dragonair beats Piloswine. You guys may not think that, but Aqua Tail, the spam from Aqua Tail, beats the Piloswine. So you gotta watch out for that. But they decided anyways to swap out, and this is why I would love Ice Punch on my Dusclops, is for Zweilous that decide to come into this matchup, because the spam of Ice Punch is so deadly that you will definitely be able to potentially flip this mid game if you want to. So another Ice Punch lands. They decide to let it go, so they could fully farm down right here if they want to. But let's see. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and shield. They're going to commit to the farm down, flipping the mid game. And they do shield the Dark Pulse successfully, but they have a return ready to go. That is a lot of damage. We will see the Piloswine come in, so they're going to go ahead and go for return. Granted, Ice Punch would do neutral right there, so I'm surprised they didn't really go for the return lands! That is why you sometimes go for it. We see a swap out right away into Dragonair now to try to do as much damage as they can, but if this Haunter has an Ice Punch, which it does, it's going to do so much damage, but Dragon Breath really adding up here, and as long Brionne should be able to farm down. Charm should be able to do it right here. Let's see. Yeah, Charm should be able to do it. 1, 2, yep, and if this is Shadow Punch, it's either Shadow Punch or Ice Punch, both of which are not going to do much damage. It is going to be Shadow Punch. So they do survive, and then they will be able to charm down the Piloswine. Piloswine does get to an Avalanche, I believe, though, right here, unless this is Stone Edge. No, it's going to be Avalanche. And that did way more damage than I thought. They barely hung on right there. Piloswine almost took it. Almost. If that Avalanche KO'd, they would have taken it. All right, we got another Piloswine here on the lead, and they are deciding to swap out right away into Dusclops. Again, Dragonair can still do good in that matchup because of Aqua Tail, but they want to take it to the neutral game, and they'll probably be no-shielding this first Avalanche as well. And they must be weak in the back to Dusclops, or maybe don't have the best answer because they are not swapping out. So here comes an Ice Punch now. Let's see if they decide to shield. Nope, they decided to let it go through, and that didn't do too much damage. They have to go for another one now. And this Piloswine honestly can take control of this mid-game matchup if they let this go through, because this next Avalanche is going to be forcing shields, but they decide instead to come in with Haunter and fully farm down, now loaded on energy. This is a dangerous situation. Remember, Piloswine still has energy, and Dragonair is going to have to start shielding these charge moves, because if it's an Ice Punch, which it is, they decided to let it go. Dragon Breath. They're going to rely on Brionne to try to close this game out, but I'm guessing they were banking. They did catch the charge move, though. There's so many things happening. I'm guessing they were banking on the charge move to not be Ice Punch. That was their win con, basically. But let's see. We're going to see another ghost. It's going to be Dusclops now coming in. So this is going to be interesting because the game is not over. We do have to remember, though, that the Piloswine is close to another Avalanche. And we saw how much damage. Granted, that was a Shadow, but it still should do a lot of damage here against Brionne. They're going to go ahead and go for the charge move now, a Disarming Voice. But there's 2 shields still on the other side, so we will probably see the first one go up right here. And this is going to be tough. Switch Clock coming back up. The win con here might be catching the charge move on the Dragonair from the Piloswine, so it's going to be very, very close. They get it back-to-back, which is unfortunate now, as Dusclops is just whittling away right here with these Shadow Punches. And let's see if they can charm. No, they can't charm down. That is so unfortunate. Dusclops' bulk really coming in clutch right there, which is why it's so strong in this meta, because even hard-hitting fast moves like charm is not going to be enough. But we do see a fast swap now into Dragonair to throw the Body Slam. That's going to force the final shield, but that is ultimately going to be a good game, very well played, as they do go for the Avalanche right here to close it out. So a very tough one right there. Almost came back from it, but overall, pretty cool battles right here. Saw some strong wins, saw some losses, but that's okay because we got to see what Charm can do in this meta, and honestly, it's not overwhelming, right? That's the vibe I got for it, but what I did get is that Dragonair and Dusclops is still very strong, and it was nice to see an Ice Punch Dusclops perform well, especially against some of those dragons that we saw in those games. So shout out to Urker for sharing these battles with us. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.